still, I just want to ask you, so then is it regional assertion? Is it the assertion of a people, or is it just wanting to be politically salient? Is it just about political power?
No,
does Ajit Singh want to become Chief Minister of Harit Pradesh? Does Roshan Giri want to become Chief Minister of Gorkhaland? Is it a race to become a Chief Minister?
Well, number one, you cannot put it down to just one factor. There are several factors. As far as Gorkhaland is concerned, there is the ethnicity factor, there is the cultural aspect of it, there is the linguistic aspect of it, and there is the administrative aspect of it also, besides political, of course. But I would not have any comment about Mr. Ajit Singh, of course. But as far as Gorkhaland is concerned, let me make one difference with the other demands which are there. Number one, Gorkhaland demand is much more older, and I would rather not agree with this categorization, that with this what you are saying, that the Jan Mukti Morcha has launched a fresh agitation. In fact, the agitation in Gorkhaland has been going on for a very long period, and in fact it is one of the longest demands for statehood in the country. I can say that. But the fact is that besides this that is the longest demand, it is also a mass movement. Like Telangana, the entire population is involved in it. So I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really say that the other demands, I don't see a mass movement there where participation of the entire population.
But it's a mass movement that has emerged because of lack of development. And lack of development shouldn't the leaders of Gorkhaland give development to the people of Darjeeling instead of wanting them to participate in a separate statehood demand?
Well, again, you are just putting it into one factor. As I said, it's not just one factor. Development, of course, is there. Development is a very
can only
strong
come
factor.
by getting a state.
Yes, of course, but then there is an identity issue also. There is an identity issue
Manish Tewari, doesn't this worry you that if you're saying that everyone really has a right to their own state, then this could lead to an epidemic of identities all over India? You could have, you've just said that linguistic organization of states is one of the criteria. You could have ethnic organization of states, you could have religious organization of states, you could have cultural organization of states. So you're left with thousands of village republics confronting a center. Does that scenario not worry you?
Well, Sagarika, allow me to correct myself if that is the sense that I have conveyed. All that I said was that every demand has to be considered in the light of its unique circumstances.
Should there be a Harit Pradesh?
Should
there be a Harit Pradesh, for example?
Well, I have not applied myself seriously to the rationale of it, so therefore I would not be in a position to comment about it. So that's why I said it is for the government to examine a demand if it's put forth in the light of the circumstances. And as I enumerated that over the past 3.5 decades, we have
but doesn't the government have to worry about viability? Doesn't the government have to worry about viability, whether the state can be a functioning state or not? Does it have infrastructure? Does it have a capital? Telangana, as I have here, is one of the most backward regions in the world, in India, with 40% of Andhra Pradesh's landmass, most backward regions in India. It has no major power project. It has no infrastructure, no institutes of excellence. Railroad, air transport facilities very poor. Telangana may not even be a viable state. Does that not worry the government that this kind of entity should come into existence?
Well, Sagarika, I don't think it's a case of big states being less efficient and small states being more efficient. I don't see the argument in those terms, because if you look at it in terms of developmental indices, the bigger states in India today are in fact delivering better governance than most of the smaller states. But however, there is also a case whereby some of the smaller states have progressed very quickly and very rapidly. So I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all scenario out here. You have to evaluate, see as to what is viable, what are the circumstances, whether it would be in the larger national interest to take a particular decision or not. So you have to sort of apply your mind, go into the genesis of the entire argument.
Is the Congress serious about answering the Gorkhaland demand? Is the Congress, do you think, serious about Telangana? Do you think the Congress is just seeking refuge in platitudes? Do you think the Congress will actually concede these demands?
Well, just before answering what you want to hear, but let me just go back to what you said about the Pandora's box. That is a phrase which I've heard too often now. And let me tell you, it was talked about when 3 states were created in 2000, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh.
Right.
At that time also this thing came up that you are going to, several new demands are going to come up. I have not seen a single new demand which has been there after 2000. I have not seen a single new demand which has come after 1966.
There's Mithilanchal, Saurashtra, Greater Kuch Bihar.
No, well, you can have all sorts of demand, but a demand which has got support from the public. I mean, those kind of demands, there are no new demands as such.
There are no objective criteria on what has support for the public and what doesn't. But let's take a short break and come back with lots more.